If you're a podcast listener, you know that cold opens can be kind of awkward. But we're going to move past that cold open because I've acknowledged it. And I'm going to tell you that my name is Ron Wadley. I am here to give you some practical advice about malpractice insurance if you are currently running a DPC pediatric practice or considering it. If you recognize my last name, it's because my wife is a part of your own. Dr. Andrea Wadley, who has had a house call DPC pediatric practice here in Texas that opened in 2018, is smarter than me, more accomplished than me, but she's asked me to see if I could give you some practical advice. I am the principal owner and principal agent of Insurance for Texans, which is an independent insurance agency here in Dallas-Fort Worth. We write malpractice for several folks who are in the DPC space, specifically pediatrics. One of the questions that many DPC docs or DPC hopeful docs ask me is, do they have more or less at risk than a doc inside the insurance-based system? And I would tell you that it depends, because there's positives and minuses both directions. One of the things that you have to think about is, if something does go sideways, do you have a team of attorneys ready to represent you in a case? If a claim is made, it has to be adjudicated, it has to be investigated. And if you are a solo practitioner running a small practice, I'm just going to make a guess that you don't have a team of attorneys ready to represent you in that malpractice case. If you're a system doctor, that's actually a positive or a benefit for them, because those systems have doctors that they or have attorneys in-house that will represent and defend. Beyond that, if you get to the end of the case and the claim says, yeah, it was your fault, and there is a judgment that's issued, one of the things that system docs often have are what we refer to as non-tax qualified assets. Those would be assets that they possess that are not in a 401k, an IRA. Those are tax qualified assets that generally can't be forced as liquidation if a judgment is rendered against you. What I thought we would do is spend the rest of our time talking about the top 5 questions that I frequently get from DPC docs. And those are: how much do I need? Is it cheaper if I make house calls? What if I'm only doing telehealth? Is this thing going to cover my employees? And can I get coverage if I'm just running this out of an office in my home? I'm going to break down each of these 5, and we're going to start with how much coverage you need.